I gather that everyone here was at the luncheon. And so I just want to mention that I was kind of heartened and impressed that Walmart's doing their part on energy and environment. But at the same time, when I started listening to Jay Razzullo, the chairman of Disney, and Disney Parks and Resorts, pointed out that air travel will be growing exponentially, my mind just sort of got fried. So what are we talking about? On one hand, things are getting better. On the other hand, are we just going to be buying carbon credits until the cows come home? I mean, I just don't understand what all this is about. I just want to quote, actually, something one of our panelists to my right, Dan Greenbaum, had written some time ago in an editorial that economists have has sort of described a pattern of increasing economic growth as resulting at first in increased pollution. I hope I'm getting it right. But then as we get resources improve and we get more sophisticated, we get bored maybe, then we start to invest in environmental enhancement. In other words, screw it up first, then fix it later, to use layman speak. And Amy Winehouse out there, we have to go into environmental rehab, I believe. Anyway, I mean, I think that the magnitude of this sustainability issue is so gray. I bet if I go around asking everybody what that means, we'll come up with very different meanings. I myself is totally a hypocrite because I have a huge carbon footprint. As much as I try, I jet all over the place doing work. I truly do not believe in deferring things or appeasing my conscience by buying carbon footprints, although I do, so that at least some resources will be put to good use. But it is certainly not a long-term solution by my estimate. I have to keep this very short. Anyway, even though I think we have made great strides and the recent conditions really help us, or forces us to focus on this, I do believe that we want to make sure that we don't make it leave it as a trend and then afterwards we'll just burn out and stop thinking about it because what can we do if there's no constructive possibilities being suggested. I think that we need to get a handle on this. And I think this panel is suggesting that there's not one magic bullet, silver bullet that could take care of everything, that in fact people from all disciplines, all sectors need to come together and try to find some sort of common ground, some sort of intersection of the various expertises and know-how and methodologies in order to begin to find a path. And so because of our time, I have to beg you to look at your books, to look at everyone's CVs. And I think you've heard enough people expounding on each other's CVs. And these four gentlemen, I think, for me, the CV that's printed there is not nearly enough in terms of their endeavors. It's just a suggestion. I hope you do Google them or find out more about their past. But one thing's for sure, these people all intersect in different ways. And let me tell you a little how, too many pieces of paper. Okay, first to speak, of course, is Dan Greenbaum. And he's, has his own independent firm, a nonprofit, but he was also a former government official and is currently advising government in the private sector. Mr. Hu Tao is government, but is also currently involved in education. Gary Lawrence is in the private sector, but also a former government official of sorts. Not of sorts, what I'm saying. Take it back. But currently involved in nonprofit and education. And finally, Professor Peter Rowe is in education, but he also consults the Chinese government and as well as to the private sector. And so I think that all four gentlemen has experiences in all walks and all aspects of the professional life. And indeed, that insight that they develop through the intersection of their discipline with crossing paths with these different experiences. And I find their insights very compelling. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dan Greenbaum to be the first presenter.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.